Passport bros, what is the deal with them? And everybody get your fold out chairs out because we're going to be talking about the Alabama Riverboat Brawl. And if you do it, I'm going to do it. This woman is talking about having an open marriage, cheating, and more. So we're going to get into all of this juicy stuff here on the Blk Cinder podcast. So welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, we've got our host, KB, trigger warnings. He's got, great input, always something to say. So we love to hear from him. And we have the responsible and married, the very credible KJ in the building. Miles is the wild card. He may join us later. And then, of course, I am the pretty one. But okay, we're not leaving it there because we have our sexy sex therapist joining us officially on Blk Cinder podcast, Naomi. What's up, girl?
Hey, Jamie.
All right, so you guys, we're going to get into this amazing conversation. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this with a friend, and let's get into it. Take it away, KB.
Oh my God, you be killing it, Jamie. You be killing it. But thank you so much. That was an amazing introduction. So have you guys ever heard of Passport Bros? Have you guys heard of this whole phenomenon? Started really getting into the ether about 6, 7, 8 months ago. Basically, it was a bunch of dudes in America saying they were unhappy and unsatisfied dating women in America because the women here are not submissive. They're very masculine. And so these dudes are going overseas to the Philippines, to the Dominican, just all around the world looking for more submissive women because they say women in other countries are more submissive and more, palatable when it comes to having a long-term relationship with a woman. I have some thoughts on it, but I'm gonna share those thoughts a little bit later. Let's start off with our wonderful announcer, Jamie. What do you think about the Passport Bros?
You know what? I have mixed thoughts, but you know what? Let them go. Let them go. Let them F around and find out. That's totally fine. Sometimes you need to get lost to find your way home. So if that's what you feel like you need to do, I'm kind of encouraging it. I think that they need to do that because do your due diligence. And I think what you'll find, and this goes in dating, soul searching, whatever you're gonna do, it starts with you. So if you're not finding and connecting with the type of women that you desire, there is literally nobody to blame but yourself. So if you need to go to the Dominican Republic to figure that out, by all means, enjoy yourself because women are women all around the globe, okay? And I know that because I'm a woman and I've lived overseas, in the seas, the U.S., everywhere. And we're pretty much all the same. They're going to have expectations. They are going to demand of him. You might want to be careful because there's some women overseas who are, and in this country, who set men up. So you still have to have a level of discernment and your own intuition going on. But submission from a woman comes from your posture, sir, your leadership, how you show up as a man. When you think of the law of polarity, you're going to get the opposite of what you're giving. So if women around you are acting like men, I'm going to leave it to your imagination on that one.
All right. Kay, what do you think about these Passport Bros?
I like that, Jamie. I think it's a couple people are going to be a little bit flabbergasted because they aren't sharp enough to catch on to what you were saying. But Passport Bros. So again, square the group. I didn't know a whole lot about Passport Bros. I'm just catching up on it. But from what I understand and what it sounds like to me is when you're looking for somebody submissive, you're looking for something easy. and I think we had a discussion like this a few years back where we were talking about a man who's on the hunt and you come across a pack of whatever you're hunting. And as a hunter, you're going to chase this down. And at the back of that pack is going to be the weakest of whatever you're hunting, right? And to me, they are now hunting the weakest of that pack. They're hunting the easiest of the prey. And for me personally, I like a challenge more so than whatever's the easiest. And I feel like when you take that route, you're looking for something that's not going to challenge you. You're looking for something that's not going to make you necessarily better. And maybe you don't need that. Maybe you've hit the pinnacle. You are, reaching every goal that you need to. And I get that. There's people who have that, but for me, it's always been wanting a challenge. And I think that if you're going to say as a person that if you go overseas, they're more submissive. They're more basically it's an easier prey to me, and I would say that's that's the easy way out, and I don't like to take the easy way out. So as you can see, I'm love America. I got an American flag sitting behind me. My wife's American, Black American. So for those of you who know her, she talks a lot of shit, but like you mentioned, Jamie, we are a group, we're a team, and I don't take my role lightly. I don't take my role as the leader of our family lightly, and I'm here to guide us to that next level all the time. And she challenges me to do that. So, for me, it's more of the challenge. It's more of making sure I'm staying on top of my toes. And from what it sounds like to me, is they're taking an easy road out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good.
Naomi.
Yes.
Naomi, what do you think
Yes.
about
So,
the passport bros?
yeah, so I've never heard it called passport bros, but I've heard of the concept. Um I mean, I'm for it, but here's the thing. I'm all for expanding your options and your experience with the world. I don't by any means think that, oh, you were born in America, so you need to marry someone who was also born in America and lives in America. I don't believe in that. But some of the reasonings behind why these passport bros feel like they want to um, find a wife outside of America, they seem like flawed thinking. They seem a bit stereotypical. um, you know, the same way that we have these kind of beliefs about people from other cultures and other countries, sometimes when we've never even been there. And even if we've been there, we haven't met everyone who's there. And we make these assumptions about a culture based on, someone that we've met or a group of people that we've met or even things that we've seen in the media. And we assume that this is the way they do it overseas. But other people, other countries also have those same kind of like beliefs about us. And, I feel like it might be a bit of a standpoint that may be coming from ignorance. So I'm definitely not saying that they shouldn't explore that. I think that they should maybe check themselves a little bit and realize that they don't know what they think they know.
Mm.
Like Jamie was saying earlier, women are women. Obviously, it's not a one size fits all type of thing. All women are not exactly the same, but we all have the woman's nature, and so they can't run from the desires and the expectations and the needs of a woman. If they're willing to meet these needs of a woman, if they're willing to rise to the occasion and not, like KJ said, take the easy way out, then they may very well have success finding a wife in America or outside of America. But I encourage them to follow their journey and also rise to the occasion.
Okay. That's what's up.
Hmm.
That's what's up. So we'll open it up real fast. Me personally, I think that any man who allows women to dictate how they move is on some buster shit. Like that's just what I'm saying. If you are going to be run up out of America by women, you're a buster. That's some buster shit. I got to keep it 100, right? I just got to keep it 100, right? but I'm all for, dudes learning how to move here in America, um, dating women here in America, successfully dating women here in America, and then saying, "Hey, you know what? I want to broaden my horizons. I want to step out. I want to travel a little bit, see what else is out there." I'm all for that. Grab your passport and have a blast. Go experience the world. But if you're leaving America because you're running away from a problem you have here, that's Buster shit, my guy. I just got to keep it a buck. I got to keep it 100. Like, don't run from your problems. Conquer your problems. And then after you conquer your problems, go conquer everything else. Otherwise, just Buster shit.
And your problems want to be conquered. We're waiting.
Ah, God.
But
Show
no,
me what you got.
isn't
Yeah.
this the same conversation that we have when we talk about Black men who are interested now in dating white women? Isn't this the same conversation and the same reasoning? Oh, white women are more submissive, or, they're going to listen more. Is this not the same conversation?
It's
And
giving
and
the
now we're
same
having it,
answer.
but they're saying, well, I don't want to date outside of my race necessarily, but I'm going to date outside of my country now because my women who have the same cultural background as I do are too difficult. Even though they have the same cultural background as I do, they have the same shared experiences, they can understand my culture in a unique way. But I'm saying that I would rather not be with someone who has the ability to understand, my unique perspective of the world. I would rather go with somebody who, is going to kind of, all they know about it is what I've told them, and all I know about their culture is what they tell me about it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same conversation that we've already had. It's just it's dressed up differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Facts.
I definitely agree. It's definitely a very similar conversation to going over to different races of women here in the United States, because you have a problem. But I think one of the things that we have to be careful of, I think, just on that point, and I want to specifically be careful of, is acknowledging preference, right? Because some people may not be running from a particular race. They just may have a preference for the skin color, the hair texture, whatever of another race, which I ain't got no problem with. Hey, you like who you like. My only thing is just don't run from nothing. Right. I think what I said a couple shows ago, men should never turn down women. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not the type of man who's gonna tell dudes, "Hey, you should be running for women." Like, nah, you shouldn't. You should not, absolutely not be running for women. But I do understand preference. I have certain preferences in the type of women that I like to date. So I can understand if people got preferences, but you know, I also just
Yeah,
don't think you should be running from it.
yeah, the intention matters,
Yes.
because being kind of like from LA and not LA, being in the more Hollywood scene, I have a very diverse group of friends, and I know they'll tell me when some of the black men they date are like, well, I don't date black women because then they got stuff to say. And what I tell my
Mhm.
girls that are not black is, watch out for that one, because it has
Mhm.
nothing. It ain't us. It ain't black women. It's him, and they don't end up treating them no better. So even these women that are receiving these men, if I were the men in those other countries, I would be like, bruh, what are you doing here? We
Mm-hmm.
got this over here. And the women, you've got to take into consideration what kind of men move like that. Like, it's not really a win when it comes to how these men treat women, period, how they treat themselves and how they treat women. So it's not a win to be like, well, I don't do that, so I'm here. The
Yeah.
Right.
intention
So
is
I'm here now. I'm running from something, not because I have a preference for something,
mm-hmm.
but because I don't want that. So I'm going to try something else. Like, and
Yeah.
it's fine to try something else. That's fine. But when your whole reason and intention is, putting down an entire group of people,
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I'm going to choose to like this. I'm going to choose to have a preference. I don't have a natural preference, but I'm going to choose to have a preference for this because I am intimidated by, or I feel like I'm incapable of dealing with, or whatever, this right here.
Yeah.
So we've been saying, you're running from something,
Mm-hmm.
and that is where the issue comes. We don't have any issue with you finding what works for you, and finding a person who really connects with you on a deep level. But when your whole purpose for finding this person is like, you have this checklist, and it's like, well, it can't be this because I'm intimidated by this, or I feel like I cannot be successful with this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 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 No, you're right. You're right. And speaking of running, last week last
Running
week
and swimming.
it was a whole lot of running down in Alabama, or what was that, 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, something like that.
August 5th.
Before I get into the Alabama Riverboat Brawl, Naomi, what
Yeah.
should the people do before we get
Yes,
into
definitely. If you've been enjoying the conversation so far, go ahead, like and subscribe, and check out all of our future podcasts.
Good looking out. Good looking out. All right. Let me go ahead and pull this up real fast.
Oh, God.
Oh man.
I'm gonna go ahead and play this whole Riverboat Brawl, and then we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it as and kind of get some opinions on what everybody kind of thought about it. Niggatry at its highest, boy. I tell you. But my question for everybody is, was this a good look for black people, or was this a bad look for black people? Because I've heard perspectives on both sides. I see a lot of black people cheering, saying, "Hey, this was the right thing to do." I love my people for this and that. I love us. That's what people was hashtagging. I love us. And then I've heard other people, have some more criticism for kind of the behavior. But I just want to kind of shoot it to you guys. What do you guys think? Kay, why don't you start us off? What do you think?
Yeah, so I'm square, but I ain't that square. So I know about this one. And I'm not super hood, but I didn't grow up super far from the hood either. So this was all good for black people. Um, for far too long, we've been, put in positions like this and had to cower, had to back down. Maybe got caught retaliating, but didn't see the first part of it, so we got in trouble. In this case, everybody, it's all on the table, and 120% justified to go out there and whoop that ass. My favorite part is the young cat swimming across the water, and the lady, get up there, young boy, get up there, young boy. I mean, it don't get much better than that. And then second favorite part is when they come walking, everybody took the shirts off, walking up. Like from that point on, they knew they fucked up. They fucked up. They knew they fucked up, and there was nothing they could do about it except take that ass whooping and just go about their day.
Okay.
But yeah, it was good look. Like if you think it was a bad look, then you don't really. I think your perspective on it might be a little bit wrong. And I'm not to judge. I just think that would be a wrong perspective.
Okay. Naomi, what'd you think about it?
Yeah, so I purposely, because I've seen the video before, I purposely counted in this video how many people were attacking that older man. There were 6 people attacking him. And for him to be there and to be expected to be defenseless, and for the people who defended him to be seen as in the wrong, I don't really understand that perspective much. I don't know if people who are against it are saying like, oh, they should have called somebody. He was the somebody. He was the somebody who was supposed to be regulating things, and they attacked him, and so this was definitely a symbol of, Black people coming together and not allowing someone, especially an older man, to be bullied into backing down. And I also feel like you can't really control, because the chair has been brought up, right? Like, someone being hit with a chair has been brought up, and maybe people feel that's excessive, but you can't really try to dictate what people are going to do when it's an intense situation like that. When when something is at stake, when there's something to protect and defend, you can't really, dictate how people are going to respond to that emotional situation and the adrenaline. It's literally like, um just defending yourself, defending, another person, and not allowing them to be bullied, harmed, and he could have been seriously harmed from a group of people jumping on him, but the upset must have been because the tables were now turned.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Jamie, go ahead and jump in.
Yeah, I agree with what both of you guys said. And I am not a proponent of violence, but sometimes people need to get their ass whooped. People play too much. And it was a mess around and find out situation. Just like you said, Naomi, like, so it was going to be cool if everybody was just beating on the security guard. I think
Mm-hmm.
not. So I'm glad homeboy jumped off the boat. There was homies running from the top. It like, we have each other's back. And it was like, what's understood doesn't need to be explained. And I love that for us. And I loved all the wild women and all the comments. And that sometimes you just need it. It needs to get a little hood real quick, because that's what these guys, very arrogant, thought they were going to do. There was this one woman. I don't know. She's like one of these country TikTok mamas, but she was eating her car and she was talking about, yeah, they were arrogant. They had their chest puffed out. They thought that they were going to, be assholes and just run around here and do whatever. And they got checked. And that's what needs to happen. You need to check yourself to think or believe that you're going to gang up on somebody like that, or that you can run around here beating on people because you're not getting your way. You need to think twice. And now you're going to. I don't care if you got beat with a chair. The way everybody stood up for each other, I love it. I love to see it. It doesn't have anything to do with, is this a good look for Black people? Yeah, like what do you think, was supposed to be done? That's just uncalled for. And I enjoyed it for what it was. And not only that, but I kind of think that's like what men do. Like, y'all are gonna fight it out. People wanted to throw punches. Y'all know what to do with that. And that's what got done. It is what it is.
All right. All right. Well, where's my motherfucking trigger warning button? I'm about to trigger a bunch of people right now. All right. Kind of like I started with. That was some of the most niggatry shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, it got crazy. Now, as far as the white people beating up on the Black old man that threw his hat off like it was some bat signal or some shit like that, I'm not for that, right? I'm all for, like, justice and order. So yeah, they needed to be dealt with for beating up, a 4 on 1, 5 on 1, whatever it is. They assaulted that man. They needed to either be fired on or go to jail. But one of the things that happened that not a lot of people were paying attention to is there was one Black dude who saw it, who was standing up on the ledge right above them. He saw it. He ran down the ramp. I guess that was the handicap ramp. He came over and he broke up the fight. It was one Black dude. He broke it
Mm-hmm.
up. He said, "All right, stop, stop, stop. You guys stop." The white dude stopped. They stopped. They started talking. They didn't hit the brother no more. The brother left. He ran off. And the one Black dude stopped the fight. He didn't throw not one punch. Stopped the whole thing. It was a wrap. It was done. At that point, I think as Black people, we should have said, "All right, that happened. Now these people need to be prosecuted. Call the police. Let the police come and handle it, and we got to move on. We got to push forward." But what happens is kind of what happens in our community. The niggas smell red meat, and niggas go wild, and Black people get behind them. And I think as a culture and as a ethnicity, we got to flip that. We got to start saying, no, no, no. We behave like black people first, and we tell niggas, you guys can't be doing that shit no more. Not what we got to do with. Okay, we got to stop all this nigga shit, because that's all I saw there was the niggas say, no, 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 it's not over. We gonna keep going. They got all emotional. We gonna show these white people. These white people ain't gonna do this. And then they started a whole nother melee. Now, it was all good and fun because nobody got shot. But I'm pretty sure Alabama's a stand your ground state. So at that point, if somebody pulls their gun out and then 9 niggas get shot, now we're talking about, oh, these white people, they killing black people, they doing this. When the whole thing had been deaded after the first black man, not nigga, but black man stopped the whole brawl. He stopped it. It was done. The police had came. They was trying to figure out who did what so that they could start taking people to jail. But then the niggas got off the boat and started fighting everybody and turned it into a whole melee. Now, I'm not saying that the white boys didn't get deserved to get beat up. I'm not saying that. They deserve to get beat up. But as black people, we got to hold ourselves to a different type of accountability. I mean, we don't have the best reputation. Our music talks about shooting and killing. We got different cities, Chicago, LA, New York, DC, where we gunning each other down like crazy. And then when other races see us as savages, we want to try to say, oh, well, we not savages. But when niggas do shit, black people co-sign it. And then we want to act like, oh, well, hey, you know what? You can't be thinking that we savages, even though black people are the ones co-signing nigga shit. Like,
Okay.
I think at a certain point, black people, as black people, we gotta stop carrying water for the niggas that do dumb shit. And we gotta say, nah, 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 nah. Even though these white cats did deserve an ass whooping, as black people, we got to set the bar higher. We got to say, nah, it was squashed. So now that it was squashed, then we gonna press forward. We're gonna get the authorities involved. We're gonna let them handle it, and we're gonna go about the rest of our business. Because, like I said, if somebody would have got shot, it would have been a whole nother thing. And as a dude who has guns, who carries guns, let four niggas run at me, and I got my pistol. It's not gonna look good. It's not gonna look good. So I'm just saying, I think as black people, we dropped the ball on that one. We can't co-sign when the niggas run loose. We gotta we gotta hold them accountable and say, hey man, it was already squashed. Y'all gotta stop that. But I'm here for all disagreements.
Yeah, look. So I agree with most of what you're saying. I agree with as a culture, we put ourselves in a difficult position with our, black on black crime, with our music, with parts of our music, and a lot of the things we do put us in this position. But in this case, um, how often has something like this happened? Here come the police, and they go home scot free, no nothing touched. If the police came down here, they were about to go fucking home, and not a thing was going to happen. That's just how the shit happens. There's too many cases of a crime happening, similar situation, where they go home and there's no prosecution. And so in this case, I don't think it was as much of the nigga shit as you portray it, because it wasn't that same type of deal. It wasn't the same type of situation where they just were savages acting up with each other or doing something dumb. My man got jumped completely, like irresponsible, every kind of reason that you could think of. And the retaliation was basically a fuck around and find out type deal where y'all did something and now you got to pay the piper. You pay the piper. I think everybody should go home at that point. Cops are probably going to arrest a bunch of people. No charges going to be dropped. Everybody goes home and we go about our day. But to allow them anybody. It doesn't even have to be black on white or white and black. It's not even as much of that as it is what was right and what was wrong. Like they jumped on my man and got their ass beat for jumping on him, and that's pretty much it. I don't think it's the savage part of the culture that was shown there. It was just coming together as people, black, white, Mexican, whatever, and defending themselves in a case where they should have defended themselves.
And
I
but
agree.
I would agree with you if the black dude didn't break it up. Like
Yeah,
I
but
would
didn't that white
wholeheartedly.
dude in the blue shorts come running up after that, and it made it a thing? There was somebody, yeah, he came in after the black dude had done that, the big dude in the shorts.
Yeah,
Then one of their friends came running up and started, swinging.
nah, the
And that's
black
how it
dude.
got reignited.
Nah, the black dude had broke everything up. It had been dead. It had been squashed. And the police in white shirts actually came and was like, who's doing what?
Yeah.
And then you see the riverboat anchor in,
Yeah.
and then all the white dudes had went over to their boat. So it was squashed because you could see all the white dudes had went over to their boat and was in
You
their
might
boat.
need to replay
Jamie,
the
then the-
beginning of
that
that.
lady
then the
who was
black-
taken was now on the shore. Everybody,
Right.
it was squashed. Like
It was squashed.
yeah, she was.
It was
The
squashed.
same lady's taping on the shore.
Mm-hmm.
Who
And
was
she got off the
taping
riverboat.
on the boat before? So
Yeah.
they moved their boat. They docked,
Mm-hmm.
and they everybody, the people that were on the boat got off,
Yep.
doing their thing, and that's when they all got together, suited up or unsuited up, and
Right.
came and handled it. But Kay's right. Everything was done.
It
That
was
was probably
squashed.
had to be 15
I didn't
minutes later at the least.
Catch it.
Yeah. And
Oh.
so what I'm saying is since it was already deaded, like if it was still ongoing and we hopped off the boat to go help the black dude, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm like, yeah, you got to defend yourself, you got to defend your people. I'm all for it. But once it was deaded like that, then at that point, as black people, I'm not even so much concerned about us showing the rest of the world that we're not savages, but I'm more concerned about us showing young black men this is how we move in our culture, man. Like if something is deaded, then let it ride. We're gonna let it ride. We're gonna go the other way. We're gonna live to see another day. We'll fight another day. If it's already deaded, this dude ain't in no more trouble. He's not in any type of situation where he's about to be harmed. He went his separate way. He already talked to the police. Then we should have deaded that and kept it moving. Like, hey, it is what it is. Sometimes you got to look at the bigger picture, and sometimes you got to take a L in order to move forward. And I just think that if we are so, because basically what I'm seeing is a bunch of emotional men, right? And that's what runs havoc through the black community is emotional men. And basically they got so ramped up. Oh, nigga, we about to, as soon as we get off this boat, nigga, we about to get you. And it was like, nah, bro, calm down, man. Shit is over, bro. We don't even need to do that no more. Dude is safe. He out of harm's danger. He out of harm's way. Let's go about our day. But they got all emotional, got in their feelings, and then went and started another brawl that could have actually ended up with somebody getting shot. Thank God they didn't. But I'm just saying now they just put theyself and a bunch of other people back in harm's way again. And I just felt that it was real unnecessary. And I felt like as black people, it's like calling your older brother, right? Your older brother, somebody fuck with you, you call your older brother, like, hey, come help me grab this. Just come, we finna get this fool. But after like y'all done squabbled, me and this dude done squabbled, or me and two niggas done squabbled, like I'm already done. And then my older brother come like, bro, let's go put in work on these fools again. Like the smart thing to do is be like, man, it's done. It's done. We're not finna go ride on these fools, man. This is how gang violence perpetuates. Because nobody ever says, man, I just took this L. It is what it is. Like we let's not take no more L's.
Yeah, but we're not talking about gang violence right now.
Well, I'm not talking about
like,
gang violence, but I'm just talking about the mentality. The mentality is we are not emotionally disciplined as men in the black community to where we can not be emotional about something, not get stirred up about something, not feel like our pride gets the best of us, and actually think through a conflict.
But
And I
that's
think
not
it,
unique to our community. That's not unique to the Black community. What I don't like is that we are somehow given this excessive responsibility to reel in our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
But we look at other races of people, particularly white people, when they fight, it's very often that they are not emotionally done with the situation. It's
but yeah, I think
natural. It's
I
natural, especially when it comes to men. It's very natural when you are physically fighting, you're in a physical altercation, for the ego to get involved and for the emotion to kind of take over. It's natural for you to want the last word. It's natural for you to want the last blow. But I feel that we are now, as a Black community, because we're already looked at as savages, it's like we have more of a responsibility to um not be seen as savages by people who are going to decide to see us as savages
but I think
regardless, even though they do the same behavior and worse.
but I think that's a
That's
false
my issue with that.
I think that's a false dichotomy because I think at the end of the day, it's not like I said, it's not even so much as showing other people that we're not savages, but actually showing our youth that we're not savages, and that's not how we behave. And I liken what you said to like a fat dude telling a skinny dude, well, hey, I should be able to eat just like you eat. Well, it's like, no, fat dude, you can't eat as much as I eat because
Sure, he can.
you've been eating more. You've been eating way more. So now you
That's an
gotta eat
assumption.
less. You have to eat less just to get to where I am. You can't keep eating what I eat because if
But
you eat
it's
what I eat,
And why
you're
does he
gonna
need to do
continue to
that?
grow.
Why does he need to aim to be what somebody else is?
and that's
Why
Oh,
the
do
okay.
thing.
we need
That's
to
the
aim
issue.
to
So
be
so
right and
so
presentable for people who will never accept us?
Well, no, what I'm saying is we need to be right for ourselves because as our community, we have a huge problem with black on black violence. We gunning each other down left and right.
But again,
Like,
that's not what
Well,
this is. This is black on white violence because it was initiated by white on black violence.
but
So
I
it's
think
it's us supporting ourselves.
no, what this is us not having the mental fortitude to be disciplined. It's not us supporting ourselves. Them niggas didn't care about supporting themselves. Them niggas cared about squabbling. Like
isn't
as
it a little bit of
a
both?
nigga
To
who grew up in the
defend
hood,
someone.
as a nigga who grew up in the hood, no, listen. As a nigga who grew up in the hood for the first half of his life, I know that niggas don't care about supporting each other. Niggas care about squabbling. That's it.
It's
Okay,
their
but the
perspective.
support isn't just supporting like as a Black. We're gonna go Black people together. It was, this is my boy. You're not. I'm supporting my boy. Like, I'm
Mhm.
supporting him, and we're about to go. We're not about to let this happen. It's not as much of just like we want to fight. It's more of, we can't just let my man get done like this. And
Because
together
it's
we're
not
gonna
right.
move
Fair
this
enough.
journey.
Hold
Fair
on.
enough.
It wasn't about
Mhm.
supporting that dude. It wasn't. And the reason it wasn't about supporting that dude is because if those four white dudes had been four black dudes, niggas wouldn't have jumped off that boat. Niggas would not have jumped off that boat. So it's not about that dude.
I don't know
What it
about
is
that.
about, what it is about is squabbling with white people because that's what we wanted to do.
And why
We wanted a reason to behave this way. It
and why
wasn't
do we
But
it
want to
that's not
wasn't
behave
fair
that
to
way?
say because the first people to throw blows were the white people. So with this whole trying to catch the narrative, like she's saying that we don't appear like savages, we're not pushovers and pussies either. Like we shouldn't
Right.
have to, just like the analogy you gave, what it makes me think is the way people talk about black women in this country. I'm still not going to stop speaking up for myself because
Right.
black women are mad and bitter and da-da-da. I'm going to
Mhm.
still talk. I'm gonna still share my opinion, blah blah blah. You're not gonna bully me into not riding for what's mine because there's
Right.
a narrative out there. It's not my responsibility to tip that scale. And if you really want to talk about savages and get into the history of things, I think we might need to let that go. It's not just black folks. Like when we really look at the way things have gone. And additionally, when somebody, if we were back in the day and this was a village and somebody was infiltrated, you better do something or people are going to keep infiltrated. You gotta
Mhm.
stand up for yourselves. And that is a human right. That's just not a bunch of, I
right.
didn't
And
see
I
no
like
flags in the air. Like,
like I'm saying, I think if we would have broke the fight up like the first dude did, that was the right thing to do. That was the show of, hey, we're not gonna let this happen. I
What
get
would
it.
if that was your grandfather? Y'all better ride for me. If somebody hits me and I get jumped like that, y'all better get off that boat and handle something, or I'm gonna be pissed at you.
If my grandfather, no, if
If
that
that was
was
my
my,
family,
if that was my grandfather and I didn't get there when it was time to be squabbling,
baby,
I'm not finna come from 9 miles away.
I am.
And then
I'm a big sister.
once the fight is over, I'm not finna be over there trying to fight people. I'm
I
gonna be
am.
saying, Granddad, you all right? You good? All right, man,
Nah.
let's get up out of here, man. Stop, stop trying to take on all of these white people. This is crazy, bro. Like, let's get up out of here, man. Like, I'm not finna be over there with my pistol trying to shoot people or fire on somebody and go to jail. Like, that would be idiotic. That would be silly. And we've seen plenty of black men go into situations where there wasn't a need to fight or push or anything and get smoked. Like we've seen this happen time and time again. And
But
so
we got to isolate this incident for what it was. We can't bring everything
but
in
that's the
all the time.
problem. Life ain't a vacuum. Life ain't a vacuum. Life
It's
is
not a
not
vacuum thing,
isolated.
but there's also exceptions. Like exceptions will qualify the rule. Like not everything is always a life
Look,
block lesson.
look,
This just
look,
happened to be one of those exceptions.
look.
Facts.
I think that this wasn't one of those exceptions. This was what it was. So for example, I'll put it to you like this. I have a child, right? If somebody hurt my child, I would kill them. But it's not because I'm doing it. It's not because I'm doing it for my child. It's because it would make me feel good. It's because there's a savage part of me that holds back all the time. And if I get an opportunity to let this shit loose, I'm gonna let it loose. Like that's the truth of the matter. That there is a certain part of men that is savage. That we want to do bad shit. Like there's a certain part of us. And that's the part that we have to think through. We have to think through, hey, is it worth it? Is it worth it? If something's already deaded, is it worth it? Or should I not do anything, move forward, and continue to live another day, continue to preach another day, continue to share and mentor and help the next people behind me live a better life so that they don't have to make the same decisions that I have to make? Like, I just think that as a community, we have to stop doing emotional shit and condoning emotional shit, especially from black men, because of, oh, we have a history, oh, we have a past, oh, we have this, oh, we have that. We got to quit making excuses for bad behavior. Like at the end of the day, this was bad behavior. And we just got to stop making an excuse for it.
Do you think that doing that is going to prevent situations like this from happening again?
No, I don't think well, when you talk about situations like this, do I think if more people didn't condone the fighting, would it stop black people from starting brawls after
They didn't
issue?
start it.
I'm
Why are we
saying,
not talking about that?
hold on.
Will it stop
I'm saying,
other
I'm saying.
people from targeting us?
Well,
Because
I
that's
don't
what
think
happened.
I don't no I don't think it'll stop other people from targeting us, and nor will it stop us from targeting other people. I mean,
Mm.
we're humans. Things are gonna happen. Black, white, black, Mexican, Hispanic, whatever,
Mhm.
Asian. Shit's well, actually not Asian because Asians don't fuck with nobody. They don't go to jail. They don't murder people. They don't do nothing if you really look at
Have
the
you ever been to
crime.
Orange County,
Just
California?
well,
The
I'm just saying.
OC
I'm just saying.
is a horn.
If you look at the statistics, they don't commit as many crimes as black and white people. But I digress. No, I think people will always attack people. It just it's a
Right.
part of life. But I think that will we set a standard to where black people will look at stuff and won't be so emotionally tied to make bad decisions? Yeah, I think it will affect that. I think if we start telling people, nah, man, we're not doing that dumb shit. Stop doing that. It was already over, bro. Stop. Chill. Then I think you'll start. I think you will see less altercations, especially. I think you'll see less altercations end in fatalities.
I mean, look at the. I don't. I really don't want to bring this up, but like something like, I'm just not into being passive. all of the marching and protesting and talking and asking. Sometimes you need your ass whooped, and that's the bottom line. There was a girl that was messing with my sister. She came in the house, a little ruffled up. I sure did. It was over. But did I go outside in my socks and my boxers and handle business so that girl didn't mess with my sister again? So she knows that she has somebody that has her back. So when you want to get entitled to play around with me and mine, know that I might be around the corner. You need to know it. I don't care if it was deaded. It had it 15 minutes ago and it's happening now. Because you need to know, you need to keep your hands to yourself, keep your arrogance and your pride and whatever thought that made you think you can come over here and touch them, like them white people who touched that security officer. It needed to be checked. And calling the police isn't going to work.
Right. And listen, I'm with you. All I'm saying is admit that you did wrong. Like if you go and beat a little girl up because she beat your little sister up 15, 20, 30 minutes later after it's deaded because you want to do it, I'm okay with that.
To just protect her.
No. She don't need your protection. It was 15 minutes ago.
No, she does need my protection.
Minutes ago.
See, what you said was what men think. And you have the savage thing and you're not doing it for the daughter, you're doing it for you. I am a lioness. I'm doing it for me and mine. So you're not going to touch her again. And I'm going to let you know you're not going to touch her again. And I'm going to show you why you're not going to touch her again. And you need to be scared.
Well, she is going to touch her again when you go to jail. When you go to jail, you're gonna be she's gonna be getting touched.
That type of party, just like this boat thing wasn't that type of party.
We're talking about the principle, not I'm gonna go to jail for it.
I'm saying this time you didn't go to jail, but you will go to jail. Like shit. It's the same mentality of like when people are like, oh well, I need get back, right? The shit is deaded, but we need get back. So we're gonna risk our freedom, we're gonna risk our life to get back. And then try to mentally dissolve ourselves of any type of responsibility after we do shit that we know is wrong. At least I admit, like, yes, I like doing bad shit sometimes. But I don't convince myself that what I did was good. I don't do that. I don't go around and go, oh no, nigga, I did that shit because I'm morally right. No. I'll fuck somebody up and know, hey, that shit was wrong. I probably should have did that. I probably should have called the police on them. Yeah, but I just wanted to do it because it made me feel better. Yeah. It made me feel like I was doing something that I was doing. So yeah, I fucked somebody up. But at the end of the day, this shit is wrong. And we just need to be able to call out to people on our side that do stuff wrong and say, bro, that was wrong. Now, hey, if you want to do it, it is what it is. It's not a good look, but wrong is wrong. And if something is deaded, the retaliation is wrong.
Guess we're just gonna have to agree to disagree.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree. We'll have to agree. Yeah. We'll have to agree to disagree. That's where we'll leave this at. Anybody got any last words before we move on?
No.
All right, cool. Hey,
stay primal.
Stay primal. There you go. Don't forget, please hit that like, subscribe button. Go ahead and comment down below. We will definitely get back to you. And speaking on getting back to you, there was a lady on TikTok, kind of went viral. And she was basically telling her husband, I guess they were married for like 10, 15 years. She was telling her husband, hey, I know you've been cheating, but I want to get that get back. Kind of like that, the Alabama River Brawl. I want that get back. So we're going to stay together and I'm going to cheat and you going to cheat, but we're going to work it out and stay together. So, I'm going to go ahead and let her say it. And then we'll come back and talk about what type of advice each of us wants to give this young lady.
For me, great, because I love you. I never wanted to not be with you. I never wanted to be without you. I want to do life with you. But in the process of all this happening, you a liar. You got you a and I had to hear from this what y'all relationship was about. No, we not no more. I want to see other people. You act like you're the only fucker in this relationship that other people want to. No, no. Let's be real. So what we gonna do is we gonna stay together. We gonna have a beautiful life together for the rest of our lives. We gonna continue getting money together. We gonna continue raising this little girl together. We gonna have a fabulous home. We're gonna love and take care of each other. But I'm gonna other people, and I hope you do too.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ.
And we will never ever talk about it. Don't bring me no babies. Don't bring me no diseases. But we gonna do what we want to do outside this house because to this point it has worked.
I guess she told him. I guess she told him. Okay, what type of advice would you give this young lady?
First of all, she's about as ignorant as can be. To think that they're about to have a fabulous life, being married, having extramarital affairs, and coming back and raising a daughter and having some type of like blissful life. She's as dumb as a doorknob to start. Like there's no part of a relationship, there's no part of a marriage that's built on that. You're never going to be happy in that. There's going to be constant mistrust. There's going to be constant undercutting. There's going to be constant, hiding, things like that. Even if you are aware that it's happening, there's no part of a relationship or a marriage that works that way. So she's idiotic for thinking that that's going to happen. You found out your husband's cheating on you. There's a deficiency in your marriage. You guys are clearly not meant for each other. You're not supposed to be in a marriage. Her acting like I'm going to go have sex with other men and you're going to have sex with other women and we're going to live in a happy, go lucky life is completely out of this world. And then what really throws me off is you're having this discussion with at least two other people in the room because she's talking to somebody. There's another cat sitting across the way and there's somebody filming it. And not only are you doing that, but you're filming it and then you post it on social media. I can't even like put together the amount of stupid in this video. And my only concern is for the young lady who's her daughter and their daughter who's gonna have to grow up amongst these two idiots. So yeah, that one's gonna dissolve real quick. That's going nowhere. Hopefully their daughter can get some counseling or something so she doesn't grow up, with who knows what's going to happen to her. But yeah, this is idiotic as can be.
Naomi,
Yes.
give this lady a little of your coaching.
Yes. So I'm with KJ on the part where he was saying that she should not have done this in a room full of people. Aside from that, I agree with her. I think that it is very possible that they can work out that arrangement. But this is not something, if they decide to take things this route, this is not something to try to humiliate him in front of people or to try to be spiteful. If it's coming from spite, it's not going to work. But if you do genuinely feel as though, obviously he does not want to stop seeing other women and you just want things to be equal. You want to also have the freedom to see other people. There are relationships that do work that way. And that is a conversation that you have to have, but be genuine and approach it with love, compassion, and understanding, not with spite, not with animosity, not I'm trying to get my lick back, but I genuinely feel like this will work more effectively for our household and our family. And then also, it's not something for you to broadcast either. It's not something for you to post on social media that, well, he cheated and that's why we're doing this. No, it's more so you want to approach everything, like I said, with love. You love your partner, right? Or do you just feel that you should own your partner and now you feel betrayed that ownership mindset didn't work out for you? So yeah, I actually felt like she said a lot of good things as far as like finding a compromise here. We can still work this out. We can find a middle ground. Obviously, here are the things that are working. We're raising our daughter together and we're doing that well. You're a good parent. I'm a good parent. We work well together. We work well together in, financial circumstances. We're taking care of the household, and actually we do love each other, but obviously you're not satisfied physically and sexually here, so you want to step out. If you need that freedom, so be it, but I also deserve that freedom if you're going to take it. We now have to change our agreements. So if you're able to find an agreement that works for both of you and that still consists of love, then I would say, go forward with that. But if it no longer consists of love, if it consists of hatred or revenge, don't do it. Let it go and walk away.
Mm, mm, mm. I'm on the fence of both. I'm on the fence with both sides, what Kev said and what Naomi said, because that's like low key the reality of the situation. Number one, to me, the biggest dummy in the room, Kev, when you're talking about her, is that man. Let's talk about him. He broke clearly the agreement first. So he's the big dummy of the show. Like, this is what doesn't work. And I also agree with what Naomi's saying, like, there are a lot of people who have these agreements, and if it works, it works. But where I think that, kind of like Kev, and as much as I agree with you, the way you're speaking about her and how delusional it is and ain't gonna work, she's hurt. She's hurting. So can we give her enough grace and compassion to stand in the gap for her on that? I have been in a relationship where I was engaged to somebody and the cheating, and it's excruciating. When you drop something, and it shatters, it's very hard to put it back together. It is so hard to be that committed and tied up to somebody and they cheat. So I'm giving her grace for her mouth because I know she's hurting. So what she's saying, because I'm a woman and I can understand that, I'm going to include that in my conclusion before I just judge the hell out of her for being a dummy, because really it's that man who cheated, because he lied. She found out from someone else. That is the worst. Like, I wish dudes would stop doing that, because the next thing is going to be when she leaves him, oh, she is single woman. Do y'all not put any responsibility on the man that caused this single woman? Here she is operating under the guidelines she thinks she has, and then that's not the case. You want to be sneaky? Somebody needs to whoop his ass, since we're talking about ass whooping, because this is a problem. So yes, if through love they can find a way to agree to doing that, because I don't know, the double standard is really ill, right? I doubt that if they do take this agreement under love and she comes skipping in the house one day, he gonna wonder who put the smile on her face, and it's not going to be fun for him. So I'm not really sure that that's gonna work. You're absolutely right, Naomi. It's not something that can be done out of spite. If they can be, do the agreement out of love because they're raising a child, so be it. But I don't see it. The trust has been broken, and it breaks my heart, because it doesn't have to be like this. And now they're raising a kid, and I'm seeing that chances are she's not going to be able to continue to be with this man, because that's not what she really wants. I don't believe in her heart she really wants an open situation. And when she heals a little bit more and looks at him for what he's not and for what he is, she'll move on, and she'll be another single woman with a daughter looking for another man who won't act right. And it's sad.
All righty. I guess I'm gonna be the only person to stick to the assignment, but you know what? We'll come back. We'll come back to a conversation piece.
There's no advice.
Young lady, let me give you some advice. Stop being emotional. Even though I know you're an emotional being. Stop being so emotional. All right. You don't want to date other men. All right. If you did, you would have said it a long time ago. All right. You want the man that just broke you down. And I feel bad for you. I really do. But stop being emotional. Take a breath, calm down, and move on with your life. All right. You can do one of two things. You can change your circumstance, which means, hey, I can't deal with that. I didn't sign up for that. Or you can change your attitude and say, hey, you know what? Do your thing. I'm not really tripping. But you trying to sleep with other men, that ain't what you want. And at the end of the day, that's only going to make you feel worse. When all these other dudes get to slutting you out, you're going to feel like garbage, even worse and lower than the man who just broke you dead. So don't do that. Advice for the man. Bro, stop lying to women. Tell them what you really want. And if they don't want to rock with you, go find someone who does. And on top of that, don't be on the internet letting your woman tell you what you about to do. Makes you look real foolish. All right. But you put yourself in this situation. So now you got to eat it. Learn from it. Move forward. Do better, bruh. For real. All right.
Mm.
Let's get into the conversation. I mean, unless you guys want to go back and give advice, I can
I don't, there's too many nuances for advice. I don't have advice for her. She's either going to stay and thug it out or she's going to leave it and end up in a situation. But, you know, that was my only point. And adding to that, she's going to have to make a choice. Do you want to be another single woman raising a child by yourself because you know you can't deal with this? Or are you really going to stay in this situation? But this is why I'm bringing up her hurt. We don't really know how she's thinking and feeling. And it's a little bit condescending to be like, stop being so emotional. The emotions are going to come out first. Then she will think logically after she has gone through her process. And I think even as men, the more you understand a little bit more about what that process looks like, you'll have a little bit more grace because it's messed up. And
we're not going to pretend men aren't emotional too. If a man were to find out he was cheated on.
That's what I'm exactly. Like I said, if she comes in the house giddy and skippy and glowing, you gonna wonder who was touching on your woman. And it's not always about being slutted out because there are men out here who really want, they want to wine and dine and they really want to, there's almost nothing better. There was at one point I thought, do I just want to date for like 90 days and then be like, time's up, let's go? Because the juice and the love and the bombness that I get from the first meeting from the men who want to get, it's amazing. So there's that out there too, regardless of they're hitting or not. So I just think that, you know, she's either going to leave or stay.
You're putting a lot of different, like there's a whole lot of different things that you're adding to this mix.
Yes.
So look,
it's a lot.
I agree with both of you. My man, you know, is in the wrong. I don't mean to absolve him of being wrong. If you enter into a marriage and you have a daughter, son, if you have a kid, whatever, if you don't have any kids, if you enter into a marriage, that's a decision that you make by entering into that marriage. If you haven't had this discussion prior to the marriage that you guys are going to be in a relationship with multiple people, then you should not be doing that. So he's 100% in the wrong, and he's the one that kicked all of this off. And the reason I think she's off base, and the reason I'm saying she's done for this is because, not because of her emotion of what she's feeling, is for her to think that, like you said, Naomi, this is all out of spite. This isn't coming out of like, hey, you know what? I think we can do something better where, you know, we are all together and, you know, I go do my thing, you go do your thing, and, you know, we come back and we have our fun. Like there was no part of her tone, her words, any part of that discussion that had that level of understanding in it. It was completely out of spite. It was completely out of revenge. It was completely out of, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what you're going to do, and we're just going to be happy.
So what? This is what a woman's emotion sounds like. She gonna give you all that mouth.
I get it, but to think that that's gonna work, like
but that's why I'm giving you nuances, because it may or may not when she cools down. When she cools down, we don't know what she's gonna do, and that's why I'm touching all spectrums, because she really might not want to not be married, and she really might decide she doesn't want her daughter, depending on the age, to grow up in a broken household. So what I'm trying to make you privy to is, as a woman, understanding what that mouth sounds like because she's mad. Of course it sounds crazy. I don't care if she wants it or not. She hasn't come to the point yet where her logic has taken over, where she's weighing the pros and cons and can spit this to you in something that you want to hear. It's just emotions right now. That's why I'm giving you A, B, C, D, E, and F.
I want to hear. So what you're saying is, when the woman gets upset and emotional about something, she can say anything that makes completely no sense at all.
It actually does make sense, though.
And then when you come back down, we can start to make sense again.
You're going to have to go through the process.
That's the thing, though.
That's what it is.
It does make sense in a highly emotional state. This makes perfect sense to her. She doesn't think she's just saying something ridiculous. She thinks it makes sense because her logic is there. She has logic, but it's also there with a lot of emotion. So when she comes down from this intense emotional high, she may feel the same way. She may feel a completely different way. Her logic may tell her that what she said during this heightened emotional time is what she's going to do. Or it may say, Okay, maybe you took it a little far there,
Hmm.
but there is logic there. There's just
There's
also a lot of emotion that's kind of blurring the line.
Hmm.
there's no logic there. You can't say that there's logic
You,
there.
There is.
There's zero
yeah, you
logic.
can't
To
say
think
that
that
for
you're
her.
gonna spitefully and revengefully have sex with other people in a marriage is zero logic.
I think you're missing what we're saying, Kev, with all due respect.
I am.
Yeah,
I'm missing
Look,
it.
you're
look,
a little
Kay,
bit.
look, Kay. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't. Women, they
It's
get
different.
hella crazy and say all types of wild shit, and it's
I'm
like,
So
married. I
let
understand
me
that.
ask
yeah,
let
it's
me ask
like
you
it's like
something.
it's like, hey, it just whatever. I think the reason why I said, like, calm down, get over it, stop being emotional, is because at some point that's what she's gonna have to do. Now,
Hmm.
look, if you want to do it right now, okay. If you want to do it next week, okay. But at some point you're gonna have to do that. You're gonna have to calm down and not be
It'll
emotional.
happen.
So I wasn't giving a time frame as to when she needed to calm down and get
Right.
logical. I was just saying, all right, what you're saying right now sounds absurd, but hey, you're emotional, so go ahead and calm down, get your
I
emotions
just
under
don't see it
control.
as absurd. I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't see it as absurd.
It's
Well,
not
But
ideal.
Naomi,
I think
here's my question.
I think I think
Go
let
ahead.
me
Go
let me
ahead.
respond to her real quick,
Yeah,
Kay.
yeah.
I think the idea of what she's saying is not absurd.
I
I
think
think
there is
I
logic in
think
it.
No, no, no. You're right. You're right. I think there is logic in the idea of what she's saying. I just think her in particular saying it is absurd
She
because
might not want it, but we don't know her.
I
We
would
don't
be
know her.
I would bet every dollar in my pocket right now she don't want
Hmm.
that. Like I am certain she doesn't want that. And the reason I'm so certain is because people who want that don't behave like that. Like people who want that don't behave like that.
Under
Now,
deceit
now,
sometimes because it was
now,
Right.
deceptive.
That's
Yeah,
right.
there
It's
was
the
no agreement up front. He was deceptive.
it's the
That's
deceit.
what
right,
brings the fight.
right.
Yeah.
But if you wanted that, if that was something that you wanted, you would have addressed this way
Listen,
before that.
in
That's
today's
not true.
dating climate and the fact that it's 2023 and all this stuff going on, just under a two household, two income, I got someone to be with my daughter in arrangement. I do see that. I don't think that that's what she wants. Obviously, it's not what she wanted, but now she's
Yeah.
been put into a no choice. So now she might decide my daughter is 4 for the next
Right.
X amount of years, we're gonna do this because we need help. Nobody wants to do this by ourselves. The
Right.
two incomes, the household, the taking her to school, the priorities start to change. And
Hmm.
now, nigga, it ain't about you. We're gonna raise this daughter. We're gonna
Yes.
get our money. We're gonna set up the thing. We don't want that. But sometimes you get pushed into having a deal. Just like, KB, before we got on here, you were saying, like, why are X amount of women not married? People are making different choices now. It's not that we don't want it, but the means and ends, the math has to math. And unfortunately, I mean, I see both y'all's faces. I'm not saying that this is ideal and she wants that and it's going to go this
Right.
way, but I am saying that people make arrangements as such due to economic reasons, wanting to raise
Yeah.
their kid, blah, blah, blah. And he introduced that. So she might make some different decisions. We don't know.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
I get what you're saying. The idea of having an open marriage is not illogical. There's plenty of people that do it. What I'm saying is to have a monogamous marriage, or for two people to think that, or for one person at least to think they're having a monogamous marriage, to find out that they're being cheated on, to find out from the girl that you're being cheated on and that he's telling her about you, even for anybody, that is like your trust is completely shattered, right? Like you said, everything is shattered.
Mm-hmm.
So to think that you're going to enter into this new phase out of the blue where you both are in, a similar situation and you can go out and see other people and that it's going to be hunky dory. Like there's no part of logic to say that is an acceptable situation. No, nobody like that. That's my problem with it, is that that's not the logical part. I get that there are people who can do it, but it doesn't start because a man cheats. She's so upset that she said, you know what? I'm about to go start having sex with men. You go ahead and have sex with women, and you think you are doing what you're doing, but I'm gonna do it now, and then we're just gonna be happy. Like that's not how it works.
Well, you'd be surprised how many non-monogamous relationships and how many open marriages start exactly like that.
I'd be very surprised.
So
Would.
Kev,
Yeah.
your thing is divorce. Divorce is the
I don't
answer.
know if it's divorce. It's not. I'm about to go have sex with dudes, and you go have sex with women, and we're going to be happy.
I
It's let's have a discussion about where we go from here. But it's not to just say we're about to just go have sex with a bunch of people, and we're going to be cool.
Well,
I'm
why does it have to be a bunch?
I
that
mean,
I
that
think they just want
whatever.
that
Yeah,
freedom.
just other people.
that
And
I
honesty.
mean, I get it. It wouldn't be for me if I'm being real. I mean, this isn't about me, so I get
Right.
how the absurdity sounds. I understand that, but I also look around, and I'm mainly talking economical and keeping the
Mhm.
unit together for a child. And when I start to think
That's
about
separate.
that,
There's no
no, it's not.
discussion
I don't
about
think it's
keeping the
separate.
unit together for the child. What I'm talking about is the absurdity of we went from a monogamous relationship. I'm so hurt that I'm going to start having sex with men. You're going to have sex with other women, and we're going to come back and be happy.
I mean,
yeah.
I
I
understand
think
what
Lots
you're
of
that I think
couples
the
saying,
key.
but
believe
you'd be
that.
I
surprised
think the
what breaks
key.
in a woman when
I
you
think the
cheat on
key.
her.
Right. But I think the key is what Kev said. The key that Kev said was happy.
Happy, yeah.
Right? Because
Mhm.
she'll do it out of spite. She'll do it out of duty.
Mhm.
She'll do it out of pure finance. Hey, I need your money.
Mhm.
But she ain't gonna be
Right.
happy. She ain't gonna be happy, and that's what Kay was really emphasizing, the happy part. And I think like kind of that was a
Mm,
question that I wanted to ask Naomi, being
mm,
a sex coach who deals with this when people are exploring their sexual boundaries and proclivities is how many people, because you said you made the statement that there's a lot of people whose relationships start where they're having an open marriage because
Yeah.
someone cheated. But
Yeah.
how many of those relationships are actual happy marriages that started from distrust, from a foundation of distrust? Because that's what this is now. Once you cheat, now
Mhm.
now you start from a foundation of distrust.
Right.
And personally, now I haven't had maybe as many conversations with married couples and their sex lives as you have, um, but just couples in general normally have a very, very high failure rate when they start with a foundation of distrust. Like
Right.
trust is everything in a relationship as far as I know. So
Mhm.
I'm just curious, like how often do you see people rebound from a canvas of distrust, a foundational distrust, to happiness?
Yeah. So, number one, I did want to clarify. I'm not just a sex coach,
Okay.
and I'm not even highly focused on sex. I'm
Well,
equally
that's
a sex and
that's the fun
relationship
part.
coach. Oh my!
That's the
That's
fun
the part
part.
people want to hear, right?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to
I,
hear.
I
I wanted to
I
hear the sex part. No,
totally get
I'm
it. I
messing with
totally
you.
get it.
I'm
Um,
messing with
but
you.
yeah. So here's the thing: when a relationship has now experienced infidelity, it is very difficult to come back from that regardless. There are some couples that will never recover. And so, in order to recover from this, you have to find an agreement and an arrangement that now rebuilds trust. And so, this means that even though one of the people in this relationship did not cheat, they also have to work with the other person to figure out what can we do so that you can be 100% honest with me. Why did you lie to me? and and then the person who actually committed the infidelity has to say, what can I do for you to completely trust me? And sometimes that might look like, I'm going to turn on the location on my phone and you're going to know where I am at all times. That can look like, you're going to, it can seem a little controlling at first during this transition. And it can look like that. It can look like being overly controlling. I need to know everything about everything that you're doing. And it can be that way, but it can also turn into something like, okay, I need to be honest. The reason I lied to you is because I love you very much, but I do want to see other people because I have physical attraction and even sometimes romantic attraction to other people. I love you very much. This doesn't diminish your position in my life. You're very important to me, and I want to build a life together. But the reason I'm cheating is because I am not by nature monogamous. Now, sometimes if you've been with this person and you love them just like they love you, then you can be open to that and you can say, first, let's be honest, first you're going to be devastated. First, you're going to be devastated because this person lied to you. And now you're discovering that what you thought was a monogamous relationship with another monogamous person is a relationship with a person who actually does not want to be monogamous. And you decide at that point, are you going to stay with this person as they are and expect them to now be monogamous even though they're expressing that they're not naturally monogamous? Or are you going to, you know, not ask them to change? And not asking them to change can look like separating, or it can look like staying together and allowing them to be non-monogamous. So then that means that the rebuilding of trust looks different here. And there still have to be those conversations about that. Okay, well, if you are going to see other people, what does that mean? You're going to talk to me about it? You're not going to talk to me about it. It doesn't mean that I just need to accept that you're going to be seeing other people and I'm not going to know anything about it. Can I handle that? If you've cheated on me, I probably can't handle that. Let's just be real. Most couples are not going to, if somebody's been cheated on and you're saying that I'm going to see other people and I'm not going to tell you anything about it, a lot of people are not going to be okay with that. But if the agreement is, okay, I'm going to continue seeing other people and I'm going to be completely open about it, I'm never going to lie to you again, then some people are more likely to be able to navigate that if that partner keeps their side of the bargain. They have to now be completely honest about their moves and everything that they're doing. They can't go and sleep with someone and then later say, "Oh yeah, by the way, I slept with somebody." No, like they have to be forthcoming, and that is with any situation of infidelity, whether it's transitioning into an open marriage or whether it's staying monogamous. That person has to be forthcoming and not hiding things.
I have a question for
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Do you do you think a woman can truly be in love with a man and still have sex with other men?
Yes.
You do.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely yes.
Do you think most women can?
I wouldn't say most women.
Okay.
I wouldn't say most women.
But the ones who can, you would probably say they're on the fringes of the spectrum, right? They're on the far end of the spectrum, right?
I mean, I would say that it just depends. I think that a lot of it might kind of be programming and not actually be the true nature. I think that if women would not be shunned, and same thing for men, if men were not at risk of losing their wives, then they could easily have sex with other women and still love their wife. And I think it's the same thing for women. I think that women can have casual sex. We're not incapable of casual sex. We're not incapable of having sex with someone and having feelings for someone else, or devoting our life and our hearts to one person and occasionally having casual sex with someone else.
Hmm.
um, we're not incapable of that.
Okay. We'll definitely have to bring that up on another show because I definitely disagree with you on that. I think very very few women can literally love a man, be in love with a man, and have sex with another man, just because I believe and I've seen and experienced that um, women are just as sexually um, uh, aggressive as men are, but in different ways. Women are sexually aggressive with that one man, but men are sexually aggressive with multiple women. And there's a difference. Now the appetite for sex is similar, but who we choose to do it with is very different between men and women. Women
I think
normally
that's
choose
outdated.
quality and men normally choose quantity. But we can definitely talk
Yeah.
about that on the next
Yeah, I just
episode.
Wait. I
I
got a
think you were onto
last word on
something
that
though
one,
with
Kay.
the devotion. Yeah, I don't know. Cause I'm not like that. I'm not really big on too casual sex, but I
Right.
feel like in this thing with this woman, the devotion has been broken. So the level of safety that she's willing to dive into with him
Yeah.
is gone.
Yeah.
So that I'm in love with him and
It's not
that's
there.
gone. That's
It's not
gone. So
there.
now it's a different game. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that dude at the bar is looking kind of fine. Like, cause
Yeah.
that piece of that love and level of devotion is gone.
Here's my last words on this one.
It is.
A man who gets
Mhm.
into a relationship with a woman and thinks it's monogamous but cheats on her
Mhm.
would not be happy if she starts to cheat on him.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, nah, it ain't gonna be happy at all. She not gonna be happy, but he definitely
Super not happy.
won't be
Hell
happy.
no.
Super.
And that's why you know that's why we were saying it's absurd because based on the word happy, ain't nobody gonna be happy in that
And he
situation.
gonna make sure she's not happy too.
Yeah.
He's already
Yeah.
done that.
Right.
Yeah.
He gonna double do
Yeah.
it.
All right. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell the people what they should do.
Yes, as you know, we're looking for people to come out, like, subscribe, comment. We love to get into it. As you can see, we respond to the comments every time. So ask us questions, reach out, but make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell.
For sure.